everyone, I'm Mariko Izumi, and today we're doing a very special edition of the 5CAST. We're doing a family edition. I've been here at the Toronto Sportsman Show this whole weekend. We've been on the WFN stage, and you know, we've talked to a ton of really great anglers. But I have to say, my favorite angler of all is my dad, Wayne Izumi. And so today we have him as a guest on our family edition of the 5CAST. Okay, Dad, so let's start off with our very first fishing trip that we took together.
You mean from a commercial level or from a recreational level?
I'm talking the youngest that I was and that I was fishing with you. When was that?
Oh, you had to be maybe. You could just barely walk, and you're walking with the fishing rods, and we're catching little tiny bluegills and perch off a dock. And the biggest problem you had, Mariko, you always picked the longest rod, and you always walked with the rod down as they're going along, just dragging along on pavement, the tip on gravel, and you always picked my most expensive rods.
That doesn't surprise me. So, I'm a huge fan of Disney World in Orlando. We used to go, I think, once a year, and I loved it, and I still love it. Dad, can you remind us of how that went along? I think we did some fishing one year, didn't we?
Well, actually, at that time, we had a Quebec show. Your mom, Jay, was the host, and Jay à la Pêche, and you and Justin did a French version of Jay à la Pêche, and we're catching small bass and sunfish right off of all those theme hotels. There was a Hawaiian one, and I can't remember the other ones, and you're catching them away. But what I do remember, what about that ride you used to like at Disney World?
I'm a huge fan of It's a Small World, and I'm pretty sure I made you go on it like 10 times a day. I remember my mom like probably puked because I made her go on so many times.
Do 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 do.
Folks, the other side of Wayne Izumi you've never seen. And no, he's not drunk.
It's a small world out there.
Okay, so now that we've discussed my very first TV experience, which was at Disneyland, where was my most favorite TV experience? I'm going to let you guess. Where do you think?
Well, it always comes to the good old Langara Lodge on Queen Charlotte Islands. And I don't know whether it's the food, Mariko, because you like your food, but or the wildlife, or whatever, you know, even sun out there. You like it all out there.
I love Langara Fishing Island Lodge, and that's where we shot, actually, I think we shot like 3 times on the Bobby Zumi's Real Fishing Show, didn't we?
How about the time you took Bob out there? Remember the head? And you took Bob and you waved him like on a popsicle stick, and then we ended up putting Bob's head on a big sea lion. There's some fun times out there. We
let the stick head of Bob join the sea lions one day. Needless to say, Bob was gone after that.
Actually, Bob's a pretty good dancer on a stick.
So, Dad, we've talked about fishing in the States. We've talked about fishing out west in BC. Let's talk a little bit about some Ontario fishing we've done.
Yeah, how about some local stuff, Mary? Because I was driving in, I was seeing Lake Ontario, and just across the little bridge of land there is Lake Erie. Remember fishing for those giant smallmouth in Lake Erie in the fall?
Yeah, and we were with my cousin, right? We were with Sam?
Sam, and we're at Paul Chen, and it was a beautiful sunny day early in October, and we're catching these monster 4 and 5 pounders, cast after cast.
I actually remember that trip really well because I had braces at the time, and we have all these pictures of me holding up these huge, massive fish, and I'm smiling with this ugly brace face, and it just really, you know, it's a memorable moment. Okay, so it was tons of fun fishing in Disney World. It was tons of fun fishing in BC, as well as Ontario. But I definitely really enjoyed fishing in my bikini. Do you remember that, Dad, in Miami?
Yes, I do. We were fishing with Mark the Shark, and this guy's got a bunch of world records in sharks and monster hammerheads, and yes, you and the other girl in the burkini.
Yeah, there was 2 of us in bikinis. We were fishing for shark. That's right. Pretty hot, huh? When did we end up catching that day? I know we caught a hammerhead.
Yeah. And you caught another species of shark. I wasn't too sure about it, but all I remember were those hot nightclub scenes that we shot later on. Remember you dancing with those Cuban guys? Huh? Do you remember? I even got in trouble because I showed some of the people in the audience, or at our office, and some of the women were saying, "You let your daughter do that?"
My dad's really cool. What happened was we were obviously on South Beach Strip, right, in Miami, and we happened to go to a little Latino bar. Actually, it was a huge Latino bar, super happening, and we were shooting for something that week. So I hopped on top of the bar and danced with some Latino men, and it was pretty fun. And of course, my dad, being, you know, the producer and the businessman, he took some shots. It was all good. It was all fun. And yeah, that was a good fishing trip, I'd have to say. So we come to the end of our very special edition of the 5Cast. Dad, I really enjoyed having you here. Thanks for coming.
You're welcome, Mariko. Actually, this is a weird version of almost like a family photo album of your fishing.
It really was a look back at all my different fishing trips. I've got to say I had a really great time, and hopefully we'll have some more fishing trips to come.
Oh, that's for sure. That's for sure.
All here at the WFN 5Cast.
Clothing provided by Storm Tech, official performance apparel of WFN, the World Fishing Network.
If you can't get enough of our 5Cast, then swing on over to WFN.tv. I'll be waiting.